Good afternoon and welcome to Margaret Haas, who is a candidate for Lafayette School Board. And Margaret, would you like to take a moment to tell your voters about yourself?
I grew up here in Lafayette. I graduated from Jefferson High School in 2003. And then I did my education in various places around the US. I was in Massachusetts, and then I went international and I did my master's and my PhD outside the US. About 8 years ago, I was finishing my degrees and I decided to come back and make Lafayette my home again. And so I've been got really involved immediately. I've been in a lot of community organizations, including leadership roles. And now I have two small children, two daughters, and I'm excited to have them join Lafayette schools in just a couple of years.
Thank you. I would like to ask how you perceive the role of the school board in managing the corporation. How would you see the role relating to the administration, the faculty, the students, and the families?
Yeah, I think a school board member has to do a lot of things. One is overseeing just the budget and the policies of the corporation. So really having an overview of what's going on across the elementary schools, intermediate, the middle school, and the high school. And I think so managing that, looking at the finances, being a good steward of those financial resources on behalf of the taxpayers as well. But aside from that, I think that a school board member serves a really important function of sort of communicating to the public what is going on with the school corporation. And that's why I think meetings need to be transparent and accessible. They're willing to invite input from the public and also, you know, allow teachers and students and parents and other staff and across the corporation to express their opinions and share their input on those policies and budget priorities.
Thank you. The next question is a little different. It's a fill in the blank question. The public schools are blank.
Hmm. I would say, I public schools are needed for a healthy democracy. And I believe public education is crucial. I am so grateful for my education in public schools here in Lafayette. I think it gave me a great foundation, not just academically, but for getting to know lots of different people in different life situations and for understanding that I was part of a community and not just an individual pursuing my own success. And I think that, civic education, public education is so necessary as a foundation for our democracy and for a healthy society that looks out for each other, And I really, that's one thing that we really have to fight for here in Indiana is to stand up for our public schools and say that we believe that our public schools deserve to be funded and that it's necessary for the health and well-being of our entire state.
Thank you. School finances are extraordinarily complex, mostly due to state regulations. Have you done anything to learn about the structure of public finance so that you would be ready to work on the budget day one?
Right. I have not had a personal financial role, but I have been, working with nonprofit organizations. As part of Greater Lafayette Immigrant Allies or as the League of Women Voters, seeing that budget process and sort of understanding how, budgeting works through priorities. And through attending the school board meetings recently and also last year, I've seen how those budget priorities are talked about in the district and also how the school funding formula works. It's incredibly complex, and it and we are really dependent on those state rules and funds, but there are also opportunities to work within those frameworks to support the things that are really necessary in the district. So yeah, that's something I personally want to learn more about, and I'm working on that. I consider myself a learner. I love learning new things, and I love getting in those the details also of those little, even the tiny little things that other people might not find interesting. I tend to like knowing about them.
You. School boards seem to have become the forum for hot button social issues, which are often fed from outside organizations. How would you ensure that the concern of local constituents are heard and that decisions are based upon their input?
Right. Well, I believe that everybody in our district, whether you're from the north side, south side, or downtown, I believe that everybody believes and wants our children to have the freedom to learn in a safe and supportive environment. And I think that that includes having the freedom to learn about our past and both the good things and the bad things, to have an honest education. And I think most people in our district support that. And unfortunately, as you know, there's certain organizations or people who are trying to sow division, turn teachers against parents or parents against administrators. And I think when we really focus on the local and we invite that local input from the beginning proactively, I think we can head off some of those conflicts that tend to bubble up in meetings if we're not prepared for them. So I think being proactive, inviting public input, and showing respect to those who are sharing their feedback, you know, um, helps to sort of lower the temperature in advance of those contentious issues being discussed.
Thank you. Okay, you were just really good about how you're going to listen to local people, but I want to ask whether you would see the role on the school board as primarily representing your constituents or representing your own opinions on the best ways to proceed.
I mean, it's always a balance, right? Finding your own voice and the priorities that you personally find important, and also the constituents. I think constituents come first because they are um, the folks who voted, would vote for me, people who are paying taxes in our community to fund our schools. But it's not just the loudest person in the room. It's really about seeking out those people across the district. I've done a lot of deep canvassing and knocking on doors, meeting with people, and just hearing their stories, their frustrations, but also their what they love about this community. And I think that kind of listening is really important, to know what really the true opinions out there are, not just who happens to be the most vocal at any particular moment.
Thank you. That's going to be the end of my questions. What I want to do is offer you an opportunity to see if there are any issues we didn't cover that you believe should be raised in front of your voters.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of issues out there. Our schools face a lot of challenges, but we have a lot of strengths here in Lafayette. And I think it's really important as a school board member to build those bridges and facilitate communication between parents and the administrators, between the community and schools. And there lots of things that are out there. I really want to say that I think we really, in Lafayette in particular, we need to support our staff and our teachers. And we often lose people to other school districts or other jobs because they might not feel like they're earning enough, or they're getting the same benefits that they would get somewhere else. So I think as a school board, we really have to look for ways to make sure that we're attracting and retaining the best teachers and other employees, from paraprofessionals to bus drivers, right? So I think that's one thing that I'm especially concerned about, and I want to make that happen. Um, Yeah, and I'll just say one last thing is that I think by virtue of my experience with lots of different organizations and people of different backgrounds, I think that I am poised to make build those bridges and sort of you know build connections across communities within the school district. So thank you
Thank you.
for interviewing me and listening, and thank you to the voters as well
Okay. Is there a
for
website
listening.
where voters could find more information
Yes,
about
there
your
the
campaign?
website will I have a Facebook page, campaign page, and I do have a website that will be launching tonight. So
All
you
right.
can find me there.
Thank you very much.